Hello and welcome to Zazoome. I'm Sheri Barbera and we are talking about niching or niching or whatever you want to call it. It's fine. Call it what you will. We're going to talk about how to figure out your niche based on 6 super important questions that you can ask yourself. And let's get right into it. Number 1. What is a huge topic that you know exceedingly well? For example, sports is a huge topic, or dogs, which I love to use, is a huge topic. Number 2, what is a niche in that topic? That is, what is something smaller than this unbelievably broad category in that topic that you know exceedingly well? For example, sports is a huge topic, but you can narrow it down to one type of sports. And if we narrow it down to golf, and we just say, okay, you play golf. So that is already taking this incredibly broad category and niching it down to the sport of golf. And I'm just going to pop over to us for a second because we're very festive, because it's just days, hours, not very many, away from one of the most major holidays in America.
4 days. What's the 4 days? 4
days.
Maids of milking. No, 4
on the
ladies
first day
waving.
of Christmas.
5 golden.
I don't know.
Four,
tell us what. Tell us what 4 days before Christmas
whatever.
is. Okay,
the
so. And Keith says, "Hola, Keith."
Hola.
And Dale says, happy holidays to you too, Dale, and to everyone here that's watching us. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. And of course, right now, we're super grateful. Well, we're always grateful, but we're super grateful to be close to a joyful holiday that represents such wonderful things. And Christmases. So let's get back down to when you niche down. So a broad category.
Right.
Like sports. But what if we were to niche down in a broad category like holidays? Right? So there are so many holidays.
Right.
And if we were to choose Christmas as the holiday that we niche down to,
Right.
that would be taking a super broad category, holidays, and niching down to something very specific. Now, if we were going to have a YouTube channel about Christmas, doesn't that still seem awfully broad? I mean, Christmas what?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Christmas decorating.
Christmas decorating.
Christmas parades. Christmas.
That's a great one. Christmas music is huge.
Music.
Christmas movies.
Christmas clothing.
Outfits,
Christmas fashion. A Christmas fashion channel
is huge. What about Christmas shopping? What about holiday shopping? What about gift buying?
Right.
What about specifically gifts for men? There you go, gifts for men.
Christmas underwear. Like my Santa Claus underwear. Actually,
okay, I'm sorry, but
what?
I'm sorry, but
I could have said about my Rudolph underwear, and you don't want to hear about that.
That is just a little bit too niche down for me, just a little bit. But I think everyone gets.
So you're saying that you can actually over niche?
Well, here's the thing about niching, and the answer to that is yes. You actually can, but since I have no idea how many people are buying holiday underwear, specifically, I don't know, Rudolph underwear, let me just say this about niching. You want to have at least 100,000 people who are interested in your super sub niche, like holiday underwear, that you can then turn into 1,000 true subscribers. True subscribers meaning 1,000 people that will watch your content on a regular basis every time you post a video. So this is what your goal is by niching down. It's to get at least 100,000 people who are interested, but you gotta figure 1% of them are going to subscribe. Okay, so just to keep it on the safe side. Let's just get back to it. All right. We're niching down to golf. Let's just say you play golf. Or let's just say for dogs that you're a pet owner of a terrier, one of the terrier breeds. Number 3, then you want to super niche in that topic. So what I'm saying is that the broad category that you know exceedingly well, there are so many of them, right? You know so many things, you don't even think about it, that you know exceedingly well. But then when you narrow it down and you say, what else in that same category do you know exceedingly well? And then how can you take that and make it even narrower? Narrower to the point that there are around 100,000 people that are interested in that super niche. So you want to base that super niche on a number of interesting things. Number 1, what kind of price point are you talking about for this channel? What is the quality level? What are the demographics? What are the psychographics? What are the geographics that you want to deal with? And when I say price point, I mean, are you going after a luxury consumer, or are you going after basically, almost everybody consumer, or are you going after someone who's only is interested in the discount life? Who are you going after? The quality level. Is it premium quality? Is it only handmade? Is it economical? What kind of quality are you looking for? Then when you're talking about demographics, who are you talking about? What is their gender? What is their age? What's their income? What's their education? Psychographics. What does that mean? Well, it's not as weirdo as it sounds, okay? We're not talking about a psycho. What we're talking about really are just personality traits and attitudes, like an opinion, a value, something that they do as an activity. What are their attitudes about life? What are their interests? What are their behaviors? And then, of course, geographics. Where do your people live? Which country, which city, which neighborhood? So if you look at it as geographics, well, let's just say New York City, okay? We can say, here's a person that lives in New York City. Those are geographics. Specifically, a country, America, a state, New York, and a city, New York City. And then what about demographics? Well, this is a lady with a family. She's in the medical profession. She earns over $200,000 a year. She's 32 years old. What about psychographics? Well, she's a soccer fan. She also loves to go on holidays. She's a good saver. She's a dog lover, and she likes music. These are geographics, demographics, and psychographics, which will help you niche down for you to figure out which part of this gigantic category do I really want to focus on and why? Who is my ideal audience? Here's another one. This is also in geographics, a lady that lives in New York City. However, she's single. She also earns over $200,000 a year. She's also in the medical profession, and she's 36. Now, what is she interested in? Well, these are her psychographics. She's an NBA fan. She has family value bonds. She's a good saver. She likes island vacations. She's also a dog lover, and she likes classical music. So we're getting a little bit more niched as we talk about who these people are. Now, let's go to the example of sports and see how we can really figure out what am I talking about when it comes to narrowing. So let's say that in this giant category of sports, you've niched down to golf. Sure, you love to play golf, but what else do you do? Maybe you love to watch golf. Maybe you've watched so much golf that you know who every single pro is on all of the tours that are happening in the FedEx Cup. Okay, so this is something that you are very, very knowledgeable about. In fact, extremely knowledgeable about. You watch the pros. So could it be a YouTube channel about watching the pros? Yes, it could. What else could it be? if you have extreme knowledge in a specific area about pro golfers, for example, you're a coach to a pro golfer. Now, not only have you really, really narrowed this down, but you have created, I believe, an audience that's incredibly interested in what you have to say, because everybody wants to know what goes on with the pros, right? What's their life really like? How do they actually work out? What do they eat?
A day in the life of a pro golfer.
A day in the life of a pro golfer, but as their coach.
Right.
So as their coach, wow. I mean, you really know a lot. You have extreme knowledge. You have an insider's viewpoint. You work with the richest people in the golf industry. So you know everybody.
That's a lot of behind the scenes.
A lot of behind the scenes.
That's a lot of behind the scenes.
Yeah.
They do know a lot.
So
they know,
do you think that would be a successful channel?
Yes, I do.
I do too.
Really do. I do. That's a definitely niched golf specific thing.
Very niche and specific.
Yeah.
So how can you take this idea and relate it to yourself? How can you think about, what do you love? What do you have extreme knowledge about within your industry or within something that you're passionate about? Do you have an insider's viewpoint? Do you know the top people in the industry? Could you be that extreme knowledge channel? And this is what I mean by looking at it from that point of view. So that's what a pro coach would be, or a professional. So let's say that you're the professional in golf. If you were to do a channel from your perspective, I think, that'd be off the charts. Here's another completely different way of looking at sports. What if we're talking about kid sports? Okay, now we've narrowed it down from the gigantic category of sports to kids. What is your knowledge about kids sports? Maybe you're a parent with kids that play sports. Okay, there's so many different sports that kids play now, but for deep knowledge, what if you are a manufacturer of kids sporting clothes? You have such a different perspective. You do such a niched thing within sports, and it's something that people are so interested in. You wouldn't think that they would be, perhaps, but people love to see how things are made, and people love to know the insider's viewpoint on how stuff gets done. Why are the colors what they are? How do you even know what dyes to use for the colors? What happens if you miss your deadlines to get the clothes to the kids? And how do they even get them from you? And how do they find you in the first place? There are so many things that you as a manufacturer could tell people about. What if you're a little league coach? Now you've got extreme knowledge. Now it's way beyond just kids sports. Now you're someone who deals with every aspect of this particular little league. So whether it's soccer, whether it's football, whether it's any sport, it doesn't even matter. You have extreme knowledge. You have your own viewpoint. This is something so many parents would be interested in, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
These are the different ways of thinking about what is a super niche that you can go down to. What if you have an interest in dogs? What is your dog knowledge as just a pet owner? Huge, right? You know about your own breed of dog. You know what you like to do to train your dog, what you feed your dog, where you exercise your dog, if you get clothes for your dog, where you go to the vet. What do you think about vets? There are so many things as a person who is a pet owner of a dog in a specific breed. That's a super niche. But what if you are a competitive owner? What if your dog competes in tournaments? What if you are the trainer as opposed to the owner of the dogs that compete in, best of show or whatever? So now you have super niched once again into a place where people are extremely interested. Or do you have deep knowledge as a farmer about herding dogs? And this is something that lots of people like to watch. They just like to see How do you do it?
That should have been a pig.
A pig. Should have been Babe.
Babe, it should have been
One
Babe.
of my favorite movies of all time.
Man. You know what? I have a niche for Dale. I have a niche for Dale. I have an idea. It might be a niche. It might just be a segment. I don't know, but it'd be a super niche if you're super niche.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write down. Wandering ancient haunted caves.
Ooh,
now,
wow.
You get the haunted caves genre. You get the, with the everything, the writing on the wall is very different.
That is really fun.
Wandering ancient haunted caves. What do you think about that, Dale?
Caves. That's a super cool idea. I like that a lot.
It scared me a little.
Yeah, let us know what you think, Dale, because that is a super cool idea. Okay. When you choose your super niche, you want it to be based on the knowledge the extreme knowledge that you have. So those are the first 3 questions to ask yourself. These are the final 3 questions to ask yourself. Number 4, what is the problem you help this particular niche overcome? What do I mean by that? Because that sounds sort of vague, but I am going to make it really crystal clear. How to regain confidence as a pro golfer from a professional golfer's coach point of view. Okay? So if your channel is you, the pro golfer, if your channel is you, the pro golfer's coach, how do you teach your pro golfer to regain their confidence when they've lost it from some big event that happened in their life? And we're not going to get into that, but we all know what it is, right?
Well, but that trickles down in that channel. That trickles down to amateur golfers also, watching a coach tell a pro golfer how to regain his confidence.
Yes.
Because amateur golfers lose their confidence every 10 seconds.
And not even amateur golfers.
On every other swing of the golf club.
What
amateur
about
golfers.
people
I'm not
just
speaking about me.
What about people just playing golf? Like, you just love to play golf. You go out and play golf.
Right, but you can lose your confidence like that.
You hit a crappy shot, right?
Yeah, and people would love to watch how you regain your confidence.
What if you're on a league, you're on a golf league or any kind of league, right? Something horrible happens in your life, like some people that I was just showing.
Right, so then you're distracted.
And it ruins your game.
Right.
Because you can't focus.
Right.
Right? So this is where truly any good coach of any kind of sport or anything in life should be able to help you get through that.
You have a Dalai Lama golf coach.
Oh, okay.
See, I would trust him to tell me what to do. He would make me relax.
Dale's answering your interesting ideas. So Dale said the Navajo generally will not go near ancient ruin sites. Let me put that back. Because of the spirits they believe are still lingering.
Wandering ancient caves.
Right? So perfect, Dale, because you
ancient haunted caves
in editing can put up the ghostly spirits, right? That you walk through. I mean, these are things. That's a great idea, honey.
And Dale's talking with real, like what they actually think. But I mean, to make up stories, I don't know if you'd be willing to do that.
I don't think you have to make up stories.
And I like making up stories.
You can make up
Dale
stories.
won't make up stories, but I love making. I can make up some good haunted stories for
know
wandering ancient caves.
Okay. So, how to regain confidence. This is a problem that you can solve on your channel. How to create a positive mindset to win, because what's more important than winning in sports when you're a professional? Nothing, right? Nothing. So you want to win, How do you get back to that place? It is mindset. And this is something that is so true, again, for any channel. Mindset is huge. Can you do it? And if you believe you can, you can. And if you believe you can't, you're right too. So, as always, mindset is enormous. What about how to stop erratic training? And this is another thing that totally relates to like almost every single business out there, doesn't it? How to stop erratic anything. And what I mean by that is erratically posting videos, erratically filming videos, being inconsistent, being like all out there and not focusing down and doing something to the best of your ability, because that is what makes an exciting channel.
Exactly. You know what I saw when you said erratic training?
What?
I thought of a train running out of control. Erratic training. That's what I thought of. And I thought a train running out, and you have to get it back in control. I've seen enough movies with trains being out of control.
Right. Or what about that Keanu Reeves movie where the bus is out of control?
Well, yeah, that's the
one with
bus that
Sandra
but the
Bullock.
last scene of the movie
Right.
is the train has no brakes.
Oh my gosh.
Basically. So,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you have to get yourself back under control.
You have to get
no matter
in,
what.
you have
It's
to
like
get
the same metaphor for everything.
Yes. And
Yes.
so these are such simple problems to solve. In a sense, I mean, these are major problems.
But that's a niche for a channel that would be people would want to watch.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when you figure out what is the major problem you can solve for someone, there are so many aspects to that you can make videos about.
Right.
And then, of course, you can branch out into other questions, other major problems that you can solve. But do you see how easy it is to start to create a channel that people actually want to watch? So are you
if it's not going to
solving
be purely
problems?
entertaining, it should be relatable.
It needs to
so
be
that people. It could be relatable and entertaining, and then
And educational.
you're niching and educational.
right. So relatable, entertaining, educational, super niched, and constant content.
Right. Constant
content. Right. So, what else? Nutrition and exercise for the best golf game. What should you be eating and why? How should you be working out and why? When should you be working out? What should you be doing to work out? Should you be bike riding? Should you be lifting weights? Should you be running? What should you be doing? Swimming. I don't know what golfers should do, but a professional golf coach does. They do know what you should be doing. And this is another thing that you can think about. How does this relate to my channel? What is the best? And I'm just gonna use, Dale's channel, Wandering Ancient Paths again, because nutrition and exercise for hiking is so important. Because when you're out there and you're hiking in the desert, it's really important that you are fit, and it's really important
if you
that
get
what?
Also, if you get caught in a haunted cave,
Yes.
you bring a sacrifice for the god of that cave. You put
Nutrition
it at
for
its
the
feet.
god.
If you find like
Nutrition
a god
for the
in
god.
the cave. That you,
Okay.
All right.
So we also have Logan here. Hello, Logan. Welcome. Thank you for being here. VASK.tech. Okay, I don't know what that means, but you are welcome to explain it in the chat or put it in the comments below this video and let us know, because I'm interested to know what that means. Now, what is number 5? What is the outcome you help them achieve? What is more important than a transformation? This is what everyone wants. Everyone wants to succeed. Everyone wants to go from point A just to point B and win, right? Point A to point B and win. We don't have to go from A to Z. We just need to go from A to B and get a little win. So what can they achieve by watching your channel, by watching individual videos? Figure out your super niche based on how are you helping people achieve something on a regular basis. Okay, these are the examples. I'm still sticking with Tiger Woods because he's a perfect example, in my opinion, of an astounding player going way off the rails and then having to come back. So everything about Tiger Woods' story makes for incredible YouTube videos. I mean, it's like, why wouldn't you want to watch about it? Of course you would, right? You would. So how to putt to score would be one thing that you would want to achieve. How to improve your putting What do you do to be better at putting? Because that is so incredibly important, because if you miss, your score goes down. If you miss, your score goes down. If you miss, you're an idiot. If you're a professional golfer and you keep missing when you're putting and you're so close to achieving a win. So this is how a professional coach should also help you improve again and achieve. Hey, Tom's here. How is Sal's Comedy Channel helping people achieve? I always get hung up on this topic and how it may or may not apply to an entertainment channel. I love that question.
It's a great question.
I love that question. And Tom, I'm going to put it back up. How is Sal's Comedy Channel, green screen comedy, helping people achieve? What are people trying to achieve, number one, when they watch your channel? What are people trying to achieve?
Fun?
I have my ideas.
Well, I have fun, happiness, being funny.
What are people who are watching?
Oh, people who are watching.
What are people who are watching your channel
you
trying
tell me,
to achieve?
what are they trying to achieve?
I think people just want to laugh. I think people want to...
That's basically what it is.
I mean, people need entertainment. People need to get outside of their life.
Yeah.
This is why people watch movies. This is why people read books. This is why you turn the television on. It's to forget about what's happening in your life. It's an escape.
It's an escape.
You want to have fun.
Yeah.
You want to have a good time. You don't want to think about whatever it is you don't want to think about. What you do want to do is laugh.
Right.
What you do want to do is smile. What you do want to achieve is that level of happiness and joy and relaxation and silliness.
Everybody wants to be silly every once in a while. And a lot of people have a really hard time doing it. And if I can give people a little push towards silliness,
I love slapstick.
That would make me very happy.
I mean, I laugh so hard, right, when I see slapstick. I mean, to me, that's like one of the funniest things. Peter Sellers.
Right.
Oh my God, I love him so much.
Exactly.
So,
Inspector Clouseau.
Yeah, Keith said humor. Check out. Yes, humor. I mean, it's just, what are people trying to achieve? I think they're trying to
I'm sure there's channels.
fun.
I'm sure there are channels called like the Laugh Doctor, Laugh Medicine, because laughter is the best medicine. Right. That's the big thing. That's the best medicine. But Laugh Doctor, Laugh Medicine, Laugh Gynecologist, Laugh. That's not right.
That's not right.
That's not right.
I went
too far. You see how I went too far?
All right, wait, and you went way too far. So Dale said laughing is a great cure for everything.
Exactly.
And thank you, Dale, because this is what we say all the time.
Right.
Laughter is truly the best medicine, and we know this for real.
Yeah.
Because, and I'm just going to say this right now, the reason we started wearing our crazy hats and our crazy glasses years ago, and this was years ago before we started doing on YouTube.
Right.
And it was all for my dad, because my dad got sick and we needed to make him laugh. And so we would go and visit him in the assisted living home, and we just kept trying to outdo ourselves, wearing crazy stuff, making him laugh. But guess what happened?
It trickled down to all the people that were in
every person
plus the people
that worked there.
Plus the people that worked there.
The people that worked there, the people that lived
everybody
there.
was looking forward to, and that's the whole point, to make this snowball effect.
Laughter
and
is
happiness.
Contagious, and it has a wonderful, beautiful, long-lasting ripple effect.
Right.
And it does bring joy, and it does bring happiness, even in a situation that totally sucks. Okay? Totally sucks. So, yeah, I mean, thank you, Tom. That's a great question, because when you are thinking about what am I going to achieve with my YouTube channel, and the problem that you're trying to solve for someone is XYZ to achieve what? These are the questions. See, this is homework for you guys. Thank you for that, Tom. These are questions that I want you to ask yourself and then write your answers down. Because the more you think about it, the more you write down answers to that, what are you trying to achieve with your channel? What am I trying to achieve with zazoome? I mean, it's really been the same thing all along. I want small business people to be successful, make as much money as they possibly can using video for marketing. that and using YouTube, the free video platform for marketing their small businesses. And that's it. I mean, that's all. I just want you to be successful. That is my entire goal with zazoome. It has never changed. When it was called YouTube Bootcamp, which is what it started out as and morphed into zazoome, it's the same thing. It is YouTube for small business owners because YouTube is free. PR is expensive, right? Public relations is expensive. Hiring a marketing firm is expensive. YouTube is free. Video is free. So it seems like, sort of a no-brainer to me. This is what I want you guys to do, is achieve. Okay, what is next? How to swing for accuracy. So what is the achievement level here? It is to become more and more accurate at whatever you are doing. Again, this relates to every kind of business. How can you be more accurate when you're making your video production? How can it look better? How can you achieve more visually? How can anything you do in any business be better?
Can I
There's
stop you 1
always
second?
something.
I hate to interrupt you, but
No,
Tom had a comment and it was a compliment for me. So
Oh.
I figured you should put it up on the screen. Thank you.
Okay, so Tom said, I think
Thank
it's a
you,
question
Tom.
of confidence.
Thank you.
And Sal has that. Oh gosh, he does, doesn't he? Sal has that in spades. I have to tell you, when I first met Sal, and here's another story. So when I first met Sal, we were both working in the same store. It was in New Jersey, a patio furniture store that in the summer sells patio furniture. Well, in the winter in New Jersey, patio furniture stores sell Christmas. They sell Christmas trees, wreaths, garland, and decorations. And they hired me to be a Christmas decorator in the store. So Sal was the warehouse manager. I was decorating Christmas trees and I'm working. And Sal comes along and I'm working. And you guys know I'm very focused when I'm working, right? So what happened?
I didn't know. So I
what
walked up to her and the first thing I would say, because I'm from New Jersey, was, "How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?" So, and she said specifically, "I'm working, get lost."
Get lost. So I was like, how do you become more focused and accurate at doing something? Obviously, he wore me down. Obviously, his confidence
What I
level
said was,
is
in
huge.
my mind, when she said that, I said, I have to niche down my approach. I have to niche it
Yeah,
down
right, to
so
yourself.
that she focuses
To
on
yourself.
exactly what I want her to.
Which is you.
Exactly.
Which I did, right? So it worked. So
worked.
you're right, Tom. Confidence level, huge. And yeah, that is a huge part of it. Confidence is enormous. So, and this is something, if you're teaching about that, if you're a professional, if you're a coach, if you're an educator, this is so important, that confidence level. And, it's just something that everyone wants to achieve. And when you start answering these 6 questions for yourself and you super niche down and you look at the extreme knowledge that you have in a particular topic, you will start to believe how good you are. This will build your self-confidence. And as you create videos and as you do your channel and as you push that content out there and people start responding, it will build your confidence and you will realize, yeah, you do know a lot. Yes, you are interesting. Yes, you do have a lot to offer. And this is what having a YouTube channel is all about. Okay, let's keep going. So, how to play to win. Woo! I mean, isn't that like the ultimate goal in sports, in any field, and in business? How to play to win. When I say in business, what do I mean by win? All I mean is be successful. That's all I mean. Just be successful within your field. What is being successful? Whatever that is to you. I don't know how much money you want to make. I don't know how many awards you want to win, if any. I don't know whether you want to get speaking engagements or whether you want to write courses or write a book. And Tom's written, gosh, Tom, how many books have you written already? 11? I mean, novels and comic books, and Tom, you're amazing. So here's the thing, is that when do you believe you're successful? When do you believe you have enough? And this is what you as a person in your YouTube channel need to help your viewers with. Overcoming the inability to see how much you've achieved and then actually believing it. That's the mindset. And then going from point A to point B, right? And it's just all of these simple things when you break them down into these 6 questions that will help you achieve clarity on what your super niche should be. And this is just my goal with this video. Just how can you achieve clarity on what your niche should be? Number 6, how do you create the outcome for your viewer? So you, the YouTube creator, how do you create this outcome that they desire? Now, if you're a pro coach, then you are doing coaching videos on YouTube. That seems like a pretty obvious no-brainer, right? But what else can you do? There's a lot. There's a lot that you can do. As a coach, now you've started to build a beautiful audience of people who are really interested in what you have to offer. What else can you do? Well, you can sell your expertise as a course. And this is something that you can sell on YouTube, but you do it off of YouTube, okay? So this is where you want to eventually end up with your YouTube channel, is getting people to purchase something from your business, something from your channel, something from your expertise and knowledge. And the thing about sales, I'm just going to pop over to us. The thing about sales is that you're not selling when you're providing a service. You're helping. You're helping people to achieve something. You're helping people to transform from this point to this point. So you're not selling. Selling is not a dirty word. Selling is something that you should do from the heart. Okay? Selling is something that actually is what people really need, okay? It's the thing that they want.
That's good that you said that,
to
because
purchase.
when you're, okay, if it's a service, it's one thing, but if it's a product and if it's things you sell for your channel, like let's say hiking. So let's say...
Let's say hiking.
Let's say hiking.
Okay.
So you're going to sell things that not only just people need, but people want for hiking, but it's very important that you focus on exactly what they can use.
So I'm so glad that you said that. And I know that we're going off track just a tiny bit, but it's so important to understand the whole synergy of YouTube.
Well, the only reason I said that is because if you're not going to have a service, or you're not going to be teaching people, you're going to have
what can you sell? What can you sell
to sell off your channel? You have to open a store. You have to make a store.
Right.
So that's all.
Because
I'm saying.
we know that making money from YouTube could take a really long time.
Right.
So you don't want to worry about that. What you want to do is make money as quickly as you can.
Right.
So if you have a hiking channel like Dale does, or if you are an author like Tom is, or if you are a computer programmer like Keith is, or Logan, you didn't tell me what you did, but if you do what Logan does, then what you want to do is find a product that you can sell. Now for Tom, it's simple because it's books. But there's so much more than just selling your own books, Tom. You can also sell as an Amazon affiliate. So you sign up for the Amazon affiliate program, you get a code, and then you can start to sell products in the description below your video. You show them on your video. This is something that you, Tom, can do, you, Dale, can do, you, Keith, can do, you, Logan, can do. Anyone can do this, okay? You just need to do it. And then you talk about what it is that you're selling in your video. So Dale, for example, you're hiking, okay? You're hiking boots. Maybe people are interested in what do you wear? Or maybe they're interested in what kind of backpack you use. Or maybe they want to know what kind of water bottle or what kind of suntan lotion. I mean, in Arizona, that's super important. So these are the kinds of things that you can then sell as an Amazon affiliate marketer. So you just put the links in the description below your video, people click on them, and yeah, it's a tiny percentage that you make from the sales, but it's income.
Right.
And this is how that works. And so anyone can have a product as part of their YouTube channel, but it doesn't even have to be your own product. So Tom, you can still sell pens and paper. Okay, you can sell software programs. I mean, there's so many things that as an author, you can sell. You can sell a course on how to be an author. You can sell, I mean, so, all right, so there are so many different things.
And you know what, and personally, I would buy a Tom, Keith, or Dale bobblehead.
You can sell personal bobbleheads to sell. Okay, so Keith said, hey, I want to hear the rest of the story about you and Sal. That's another time, Keith. You're funny.
Okay, we're running out of time now.
Sell your own digital products like ebooks. Exactly. And digital products are huge. And that is another thing. So I did a video and I've also done a course on how to create a lead magnet, which is something like an ebook that you give away for free so that people will sign up for your email newsletter. And then from your newsletter, another way that you can sell products. So yeah, you can sell an ebook right from your newsletter or right from your YouTube channel. Thank you, Keith, because that is a great point. And Tom said, it seems like most consumers are now accepting affiliate links as a legit ask from creators. Is that right? Yes. And for the longest time, it really did seem kind of crappy. I agree. It seemed like, oh my God, why are people doing this? It's so sleazy. But it's not anymore. It's just a given and people get it. And I want to go back to the idea of selling. There is a huge difference between selling and helping. And when you provide a link in the description below your video to something that you're talking about that people are actually interested in, that you think is something really cool, that you would love or that you love to use or something that you use all the time, you're providing a service.
Yeah, you're helping.
Okay, you're helping people. You're not selling something anymore, you're helping. And this is the difference. This is that thing that you got to turn in your mind and say, oh, okay, now I understand.
Right.
There is a huge difference between being a sleazy salesperson and being someone who's actually helping other people. And our goal has always been to help people. And that's the bottom line, is that we just want to help people. And in Sal's case, it's help people by making them feel good, by laughing. And in my case, it's helping people by helping to show you how to make money, how to improve your business, how to boost your income, how to make an impact, how to help other people through your business.
A lot of people find it hard to get out of their own head and think about the person on the other side of the channel that are looking at you.
Yeah.
And watching what you're doing, trying to help them.
To help them. And you know, it wasn't as though I could just sit down when I started doing this and look into the camera and see you. Now I can. I mean, I have no problem picturing you right in front of me and talking directly to you. But I did when I first started making videos.
Right.
And it does take a while. It's not something that just, you know, magically happens. You have to work at it.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, it's not a natural thing. You're
you
looking at a camera.
At it. So, oh my God, Tricking Pals. Hi,
Tricking
guys.
Pals.
It's so good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. I love that you guys are here. Thank you.
We were just talking about hiking.
I know. We're just talking about hiking. You guys are amazing. Alex and Habiba. Love you guys. Okay, so authenticity seems like a big part of the sale, Tom said. Yes. I think if you don't trust someone, if you watch their videos and you don't believe them or you don't trust them, I agree. Trust is huge. So one of the things that you do when you have a YouTube channel is you build trust. How are people going to get to know you unless they see you? I mean, unless, you know, if they don't live in your city or town or whatever, wherever you live, and know you personally, how are they going to get to know you if that's what you want? Well, YouTube makes it happen. YouTube makes it easy. And this is why being authentic on camera as opposed to, being nervous or being scared to talk or like just being crazy and wild if you're not just really crazy and wild. I mean, it's good to be bigger, like a bigger presence on camera than maybe you would be, although I'm pretty much like this all the time. Right? I am pretty much like this all the time.
At the dinner table.
Yeah, it's like, I do have a big personality. But yes, Tom, I agree with you so much that authenticity, being really you on camera, but being the best you, bringing the best you. And I think that is the most important thing for people to feel like you're authentic, is to really get an idea of who are you, and why would I believe you, trust you, and then want to buy from you. So yes, I agree. That is an excellent point, and thank you so much for bringing that up. Okay, let's keep going. So we're talking about what else can you do. So you do your YouTube videos, and then you help people beyond your YouTube videos with a course or courses. But it could just be one really amazing course, and that's really all you need is just one course. And then finally, what else can you do? Oh, I went the wrong way. What else can you do? Well, let's say people take your course, love it, and then what? They're like, okay, I need some more hand-holding. Like, I could use it on pretty much a regular basis because you're awesome and I love to learn from you. This is where you go from your YouTube channel, creating a course, and now it turns into a membership off of YouTube. And what I mean by a membership is it doesn't have to be even weekly. It could be every other week. It could be once a month. If you're like this pro coach, it could just be once a month. So it is a time when you say to people, okay, send me through email all your questions for this month about everything things that you learned in the course, but you just don't understand, you need more clarification about. Send me all your questions, and then you have one day a week or one day a month, and you answer for an hour or two questions. It's a Q&A. So you take the questions, you answer the questions. This is how you do a membership that's valuable. Because what is a membership all about anyway? I mean, we all have memberships, right? We have memberships to Netflix. We have memberships, you're not even going to think of it this way, but we have memberships to our utility company. Don't we pay them monthly? Yeah, we do. Huh. So anything that you pay monthly or anything that there's an annual fee for, that's a membership. So no matter how you think about it, memberships are a huge part of our lives. And if you start to list everything that you pay for on a monthly basis, that is a membership, even a subscription, this is a membership. So why wouldn't you go from your YouTube videos to your course to your membership? And this is a complete circle of how to help people, to truly help people that are interested in this super niche that you're creating by answering these 6 questions. Now, how do you test the niches that you've come up with? So let's say you are interested in comedy.
Okay, let's say that.
Let's say you're interested in comedy. You've decided to do a channel called Green Screen Comedy, and your super niche is creating ridiculous characters, which is what you do, right? Creating ridiculous characters, and they do all different kinds of things. Does that work?
For me, it does.
Okay, but how many subscribers do you have?
That's got nothing to do with it. I'll ask you a question. I'll answer that question with a question.
Okay.
How many videos have I put up recently?
None.
How much consistency do I have?
None.
How much? I think that's enough questions.
Okay, that's enough questions and answers there. So, all right, let's just talk about, though, as a broad category, comedy is huge. So you can zero in on many, many different kinds of comedy. There's comedy skits, there's comedy troupes, there's stand-up comedy.
Parody.
There's parody comedy, there's music comedy, music parody comedy.
Music parody comedy.
There's so many different kinds of comedy. So what Sal has decided is that his broader niche maybe isn't working as quickly as he would like because it's a little bit too broad. There's so many characters. You can always expand.
I took a step back. I took about 12 steps back to look at my channel from afar and say, what would I actually want it to be? What would I want to do every day?
Every day.
Yeah, every day that I would do consistently and enjoy doing and look forward to doing. And that's what we always think about. What would we look forward to getting up every day and doing every day? Even if you just did, you make a few videos and you're talking about, a half hour of tape, of recording, and then however much you do with the editing. But what do I look forward to doing every day?
So, okay, so when you try to figure out your super niche, if you can zero in on one thing that you think will be very successful and you know that it is proven to be successful with other channels and or with people on television or whoever, something that is super successful that you know it works, then sure, you can try that, okay? What if you don't know? What if you're Sal and you've got all these different characters and one of them does infomercials, one of them does parody music videos, one of them is an insane scientist, one of them is just Sal the stand-up guy. How do you know what's going to work? What should you do to figure out what is going to work? 2 things. And I'm going to tell you what they are right now. There are 2 things you should do. Number 1, you've gone through all these 6 questions that you have to answer. You're doing your homework. You're doing all of these 6 questions. You get down to these niches, these super niches, and let's say you have 3 of them that you love. What should you do? Number 1, you should try all of them. You should try all 3 of them because you're really not going to know what's going to hit with your audience. So you should make videos. Every other video should be one of these 3 super niches. So you start to see what is resonating with your audience. What actually are people watching? Look at your statistics. Look at your analytics. Is YouTube sending those videos out? So number 1 is to try all 3. Number 2, what is YouTube itself promoting? What is YouTube itself promoting that I have made videos about recently? What is YouTube? Tell me in the chat. What is YouTube itself promoting that you can use immediately to find out if your super niches are on target, something people want to watch, which one resonates the most? Tell me in the chat, because that is the second thing you want to do. So you want to make videos on all 3 of them. You want to look at your analytics and see what works the best, but then how should you be doing this? Anybody going to tell me in the chat? I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Anybody?
This would be like when you had the audience at the library.
I don't have
everybody was just like.
I know, and I know. Everyone's like, looking at me like, what? What is she saying?
Oh no, she's asking a question. We have to answer it.
What is she saying? Okay, so think about YouTube itself is promoting something now. YouTube itself has created a fund for creators itself. What is it? Okay, so Tom said, is this where vidIQ and TubeBuddy come into play? Yes, as far as, doing like keyword search and stuff like that, but no. I just heard Sal tell me what it is.
Shorts.
What?
Shorts.
Oh my God! So test. Now
they're not just shorts. Now they're
niches.
They can be very shorts.
With shorts, it's YouTube's own tool, YouTube's own way of helping you for free. YouTube Shorts. So you should be testing with YouTube Shorts.
And right now it's one of those waves where it's cresting. It's cresting at the top of the wave, and you really, really have to take advantage of it now, which I'm going to do.
Right now, okay? YouTube Shorts. So what am I going to end the year talking to you guys about?
I'm going to guess shorts.
Shorts! Okay, YouTube Shorts. How to test your super niche with YouTube Shorts. And this is exactly what you want to do. And I will be doing that in the next video. Okay, we're gonna close out the year with YouTube Shorts. And we are gonna open the year with YouTube Shorts, because that is what both Sal and I have decided we're nuts not to focus on, right?
Exactly.
I mean, I've been talking about it for how long? I have shown you case studies of channels that have gone from 0 to 1 million subscribers in a year, 1 year, doing YouTube Shorts. Okay, so why wouldn't you do them when YouTube itself is promoting them? When YouTube itself is pushing them out to viewers, all right? Pushing. So you want to do YouTube Shorts. Vertical videos, 1 second, it can be 1 second, right? So you will get 100% view time with a 1 second short. Okay, it can be 1 second to 60 seconds long. No more than that, 1 second to 60 seconds long. A vertical video, not a horizontal like we are now, but a vertical video, or it can be square. Okay, so it can be a square video. YouTube does consider that a short, but it can't be more than 60 seconds, and it can be as short as 1, which is insane. All right, so Tom said, looking forward to it. Miss you guys. Thank you, Tom. We miss you too. I mean, we miss you guys so much. Not being in person is so hard.
It is.
It has been a real challenge. Like this year has been a real challenge. The last 2 years have been a real challenge for us. And I know it's been for you too. So it's been hard for everybody, but God, we miss you guys. And we are so grateful for you. We are so thankful for you. And yeah, it's been hard. Okay. To recap, what are the 6 questions for you to answer? What is a huge topic that you have extreme knowledge in? Number 1. Number 2, what is a niche within that huge topic that you have extreme knowledge in? Number 3, what is a super niche where you can get at least 100,000 people excited about watching your videos, and out of those 100,000 people, 1,000 to subscribe? Number 4, what is the problem that your viewer needs to overcome? Number 5, what is the outcome that they want to achieve? And number 6, how can you, the YouTube creator, create that outcome for them? Okay, so there are your 6 questions. Please, this is your homework. Answer them to figure out your super niche. And then next week, we are going to be back with YouTube Shorts, all about how to use YouTube Shorts to figure out which of your super niches is really going to explode. And YouTube is going to help you do this for free. Okay, so we are going to talk about that next week. We're going to be covering everything that has to do with YouTube Shorts for super niching. If you like this video, please like it. You know I love those likes. Leave a comment in the comments below this video if you didn't in the chat. And of course, if you're a newbie, subscribe so you won't miss any more of our educational, entertaining, and whatever videos, right? You want to be here. Finally, as always, if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't have that confidence level that we were talking about with Tom, who is going to believe in you? Well, of course your mom, right? Of course your spouse, right? But who is going to believe you if you're making videos and you don't believe in yourself? So the number 1 thing that you need to start with is you. You, the creator, who are you? What is that confidence level that you have? What do you have extreme knowledge in? What is that narrow focus that you can have where you believe in yourself so much because you know so much about that you can just be you on YouTube and make a tremendous impact by making a difference and helping people? What is that one thing? So believe in you. Just be yourself and believe in you. And we are now going to say our goodbyes for today and have an extraordinarily happy, healthy, safe, and merry holiday. And we're going to say our dating and goodbyes.
And listen, I have one more thing to say.
What?
When we get off this video, this transmission, literally I'm going to the green room and I am making a short video right now.
Love it.
And I'll give you a little hint.
Who else is making a short this week? Who else is making a short this week?
Listen to this. Listen to my type. All right, so anyway, I'm doing it now. Soon we get up. All right. Come on,
okay.
Go.
All right, so have a happy holiday, guys. Stay safe, be healthy, and we'll see you in the next video about shorts. Woo! Love those shorts. Okay. Thank you, guys. See you next time. Thanks for joining us. Ciao.